Here, little birdies. Come on. That sounds like a trap. Boy.
Creeping me out, bro. Hello, welcome back to Handmade. Today we're going to be creating a bird feeder for our furry friends.
Are they furry?
I don't know. They have feathers. But...
And we're going to be using acrylic sheets.
Yes, we've been working with these a lot lately. They're super fun. We're still kind of getting the hang of it.
They're a little tricky, but they're really modern looking, and I enjoy working with them.
Yeah, we're going to give it a little mid-century flair today.
Yes. Okay.
So we want to start by scoring our acrylic sheet here with an acrylic cutter, which I have in my pocket.
Yeah, and you can find an acrylic cutter at a hardware store, online.
Craft store. Yep.
Yes, and most acrylic sheets come with this film that comes right on both sides, and this is important to keep on just so it protects the surface and nothing scratches.
All right, so we're gonna find the center point here of our acrylic sheet, which is about 4 1/4. I'm gonna mark that there, and then we're gonna make a roof for our bird feeder. And do you remember the measurement on that?
It was about 2 inches down.
All right, and now I'm just gonna score the plastic here. You don't have to go too deep. You just wanna kind of go through a few times.
And if you don't have an acrylic cutter, you can use a box cutter, but we found that this is just
a lot easier.
Yeah, a lot easier.
You could also use a wood burning tool or a Dremel, but we like to go the old-fashioned route. And you could see that it's cutting through because there's little shards of plastic cutting off.
And you really don't need to go that deep. That's something we learned. We were kind of cutting the whole way through, but then we learned really you only need to do it about 10 times.
Yep, and then we're gonna use a piece of sacrificial wood here just to kind of break off our corner here.
So really you just want a good 90-degree edge, and then I'm gonna like Karate Kid this. Let's see. So you line up the corner. Oh. There we go. And look at that. Pretty good cut. Ooh,
all right.
Okay, so in the corner, it didn't fully cut off, so I'm just gonna try to do it a little more. Actually, you know what I like to use is like a ruler.
There you go.
There we go.
All right.
Okay. And just this one. All right. Pretty good. Now, there are a couple of rough edges, but we're just gonna sand that down a little later.
And now I'm just gonna cut my other pieces of acrylic here. We need a top for the roof and then 2 sides for the side of the bird feeder. We're gonna make our roof about 3 1/2 inches here. Same thing, I'm gonna line it up and then use my ruler here and the acrylic cutter to score it. I'll make Andrew break it off. Stand back, everybody. Beautiful. Now we're just gonna cut our 2 sides here. We want that to be about 3 inches wide. All right, we have all our pieces cut, and now we're gonna add a little hole because we're gonna actually suction cup this to a window. So you wanna create a hole here that we can put the suction cup in. We're gonna use a step drill bit here to create our hole in the plastic. Before I drill, I wanna tape it just so the plastic doesn't crack.
Yes.
I get very paranoid. And we just cut all of those pieces. That would be a shame if the plastic would crack. We'd have to start all over.
Do it again.
I'm gonna. Even if it doesn't crack, he's gonna do it again.
He will do that to me.
Because you should have seen how many times I had to do it on my own. Wow. On my own.
Pretending birds beside me. And this is what a step drill bit looks like. As you can see, it starts out small and goes wider and wider. Using a regular drill bit will crack the acrylic. We found that this is definitely the best way to do it.
And I'm just gonna eyeball it here. I wanna go in the center, about an inch and a half down, inch.
Good.
And we're just gonna make sure our suction cup fits right in there.
Oh,
Looks pretty good.
All right, before we start bending our plastic, we're just gonna sand down any rough edges. As you can see, we need some sanding here and here. I have some 220 grit sandpaper. What's that?
She rocks in the treetop.
Oh. What's like another bird song like?
Bird is a word.
There's a bluebird on my shoulder.
So now we're gonna use an embossing tool, which is basically like a heat gun. If you have a heat gun, that's great too.
Yep.
We're gonna be using our embossing tool just because it's what we had. We're gonna melt down the plastic here. Andrew's gonna wear some safety gloves just so he doesn't get burnt or there's no accidents. We don't want that to happen.
Yes.
And we're gonna measure about 4.5 inches up here. And we're using a crate here because we wanna have a 90-degree angle just so that we'll be able to have the bird seed sit right in there nicely.
Yeah.
As you heat it, you want to move back and forth. You don't want to heat one spot because that will burn right through the plastic. So slow and steady, kind of move the heat gun up and down. And you're actually going to see the plastic start to move on its own, and then you can manipulate it once you kind of start seeing that it's giving a little bit.
Yeah, nice and slowly will do the trick. You don't want to crack the plastic. And this crate actually turned out to be perfect because now we can use the slats and just put it right in to get the perfect measurement. And just give it a minute to set before you start moving it around.
Now we're gonna do the same thing to our roof here. We wanna bend it so that it fits. Is this right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna start to bend this here, and then Andrew's gonna shift it and just kind of make sure that it fits, because you do have a little bit of that wiggle room.
Yeah. Once you heat it up, you have about 30 seconds to bring it to the roof to make sure you have the right angle before it hardens. All right, and I'm just gonna hold it here just so it's at the perfect angle. Does that look pretty good?
Yeah.
You know, this would look really cute as is, but we wanted to give it a little detail, so we decided we were gonna do a stencil right on the inside of the roof, just to give it, you know, a little pizzazz. Birds like fancy things, that's the truth. So we wanted to,
Don't
you know.
we all?
We're using a stencil on a vinyl that we actually made, but you can use any stencil you like. This kind of has a mid-century flair to it. We thought it was nice.
Girl, put your stencil on.
Put your stencil.
These birds better like it. It's a lot of work.
A lot of work for these birds. That's really for us, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Now you may think, why not stencil it before you heat it up? But if you do, your paint will actually chip from the heat, so doing it after is the best. And we're putting it on the inside of the roof to protect it even more from the elements. We're going to let our paint dry and start putting together our bird feeder.
They sell specific acrylic glue, but it's a little pricey. And we found out that by using 100% waterproof, strong adhesive bond works just as well. So that's what we're gonna use. Because it's clear and we don't want any glue to spill out or look messy, we're gonna be actually using a wooden skewer here to apply our glue just on the edges here, just a little bit. Because we wanna try to keep it as clean and nice looking as possible, because we're gonna be seeing this right outside our window.
If you have a hard time keeping it really clean, don't beat yourself up over it, because there's gonna be bird seed in it. You're really not gonna see those details. I know we like to be perfectionists, but you know, it's handmade. We just cut a wooden dowel down to size to make a perch for the front. All right, time for the big reveal.
Yes, our stencil is dry here. We're just gonna pull it off. Check it out. Looks good.
Looks really cute.
So cute.
Okay, now we're just gonna apply a little bit of glue right on the edge here, and then...
Yep. And we're actually gonna use a little scrap piece of cardboard just to kind of hold our roof in place while it's drying.
We're gonna use a little bit of painter's tape just to hold everything in place while the glue dries, and this way nothing shifts.
So ideally you wanna set this to dry for about 24 hours.
Yep, which is why we have one we made in advance.
Yes, it looks so cute. You
Yeah.
wanna pop in your suction cup, and then you're ready to put on your window.
How cute is that?
We love how it turned out. It
Yes.
looks super cute, utterly
Totally.
charming. You could pop this on your window, and if you have cats, you have a little cat entertainment TV for your kitties.
Yeah, the great thing about it is it's totally clear, so you can see from all angles. Let us know what outdoor project you'd like to see us tackle next the next time we're in Knoxville.
Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Tweet,
Bye.
tweet.
Tweet, tweet.